Smart People, Dumb Decisions, Why It Happens, presented by InfoTained by DEPENDABLE. Opening. Have you ever known something was a bad idea, and you still did it? You saw the signs, you felt the warning, you even told yourself, this won't end well. And yet, you went ahead anyway, only to sit later, in silence, replaying everything in your head, asking yourself, why did I do that? Analysis. It happens more than we like to admit. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Being smart doesn't protect you from bad decisions. In fact, sometimes it makes it worse, because intelligence gives you something powerful and dangerous, the ability to justify anything. Smart people don't always avoid mistakes. They explain them, they rationalize them. Their overthinking doesn't eliminate risk, it quietly reshapes it. They shrink the danger in their own minds. They convince themselves that the risk is manageable, controlled, different this time. They don't say, I'm making a bad decision. They say, this is different. This time, it will work. I've thought this through. And that's where it begins. Not with ignorance, but with confidence, overconfidence. You believe you understand the situation. You believe you can control the outcome. You believe you're the exception to the rule. But reality doesn't care how smart you are. Scenario 1, the investment trap. Take this. You invest in something risky. At first, it looks promising. Then the warning signs appear. Losses begin. Slowly, then faster. Deep down, you know you should stop. Cut your losses. Walk away. But you don't. Because you've already invested money, time, energy, pride. And now, walking away doesn't feel like a smart decision. It feels like failure. So instead, you double down. You invest more. You hold longer. You tell yourself it will bounce back. And by the time you finally accept reality, you've lost far more than you ever planned. Scenario 2, the relationship illusion. Now think about relationships. You see the red flags. You feel the imbalance. You notice the patterns. But instead of stepping back, you reinterpret everything. They're just going through a phase. It's not that serious. They'll change. You build explanations. You defend the situation. You stay. Not because it's logical, but because you've made it sound logical. And the longer you stay, the harder it becomes to leave. The emotional mask. Another trap is emotion. Even the most logical minds are still human. Fear, pride, desire, ego. These don't disappear with intelligence. They hide behind it. You don't say, I feel like doing this. You say, this makes sense. Even when it doesn't, the overthinking spiral. Then there's overthinking. Smart people analyze everything, every angle, every possibility, every outcome. But too much thinking doesn't always lead to clarity. Sometimes, it leads to confusion. You go in circles. You keep evaluating, re-evaluating, reframing, until eventually, you don't choose the best option. You choose the one that feels less uncomfortable. Not the right decision, just the easier one to live with. The identity trap. And then, there's one of the most dangerous traps of all, the fear of being wrong. Ironically, the smarter you are, the harder it becomes to admit mistakes. Because being wrong doesn't just feel like a mistake, it feels like a threat to who you are. So instead of correcting course, you defend, you justify, you continue, you commit deeper into the same bad decision. And the longer it goes on, the more expensive it becomes to stop. Turning point insight. So what's really happening here? It's simple. Intelligence helps you think, but it doesn't always help you see clearly, because thinking and awareness are not the same. Awareness is what allows you to pause, to step back, to question your own reasoning, to ask yourself, am I being logical, or am I just being convincing? Closing. Being smart is powerful, but it's not enough, because good decisions don't come from intelligence alone. They come from awareness. The awareness to question yourself, to pause, to admit when something feels right, but isn't. Because sometimes the smartest thing you can do is stop. This has been a perceptive cinematic analysis from InfoTained by Dependable on Smart People, Dumb Decisions, Why It Happens. If you found this valuable, subscribe and join us as we continue to examine how perception shapes the realities we live in. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss the next episode. And if this made you reflect in any way, leave a comment, like the video, and share it with others. This is InfoTained by Dependable. Be entertained. Be informed.